The best and worst of dietary trends, takeaways from paleo, vegan, gluten-free, and more. Hippocrates said, "Let food be thy medicine, and medicine be thy food." Diet is a four-letter word, which can come with a lot of different feelings and meanings. As a noun, it is a special course of food to which one restricts oneself, either to lose weight or for medical reasons. As a verb, it is restricting oneself to small amounts or special kinds of food in order to lose weight. We're going to begin looking at long-standing diets. Clean eating is a simple concept that focuses on consuming whole and minimally processed foods, understanding the ingredients list, and defining what processed foods are. A good example of this diet is the Whole30. Clean eating is more of a recent buzzword now than ever. The idea is to eat mostly whole and natural foods, such as animal proteins, eggs, fruits, vegetables, and seeds. To always check the ingredients list for those things that you don't recognize as food. For example, a bag of locally made granola may have the following ingredients: oats, honey, sunflower seeds, coconut shavings, canola oil, cinnamon, and sea salt. Those are all items you may have in your kitchen, but a mass-produced bag of granola may read oats, brown rice, chicory root, honey, vitamin E, soy lecithin, and others. These processed foods may be okay on a clean diet, but there really aren't clear, definite rules. This is a trend that emphasizes natural foods over relying on processed snacks and fast foods, such as those with brown rice syrup, chicory root, and soy lecithin as the example above. The pros of clean eating are that you get an increased intake of fruits, vegetables, and natural proteins in your diet, and a decreased intake of processed snack foods, prepared meals, and fast food. However, there's no clear definition of what clean eating is, and people may have a different perception of what processed foods are. The Mediterranean diet is based on the European Mediterranean Sea cultural diet, which has been modified by the Western world. The base of this diet consists of olive oil, fresh fish, nuts and seeds, red wine, and fresh produce. Research has shown time and time again the benefits of this diet for heart health and weight loss. This diet is high in intake of healthy fats, promotes fish consumption with a variety of protein, has a lot of fruits and vegetables in it. However, this diet may not be suitable for regions that don't have access to such healthy fish options. Next, we're going to look at elimination diets. The paleo diet was created by Dr. Lauren Cordain. The theory of this diet is that our bodies are designed to process whole, natural foods, such as those that our primal ancestors may have ate. Animal protein, vegetables, nuts, seeds, oils, and fruits are all components of this diet. This diet became widely popular among CrossFit athletes as a way to cut body fat and build lean body mass, such as muscle. Now, it's more recently crossed sport and demographic barriers. Variations of the paleo diet are common, but the original eliminates dairy, corn, beans, legumes, wheat, and soy, and also promotes a low fruit sugar intake. Some more extreme versions are also eliminating alcohol. This diet does promote the intake of whole, natural foods with a very low, no processed foods. However, it's not a rule, but most paleo dieters do support local and sustainable agriculture and animal proteins such as organic local eggs, grass-fed beef or bison, organic local produce, etc. However, due to its highly restrictive nature, many dieters fall off the paleo wagon after 1 or 2 years. It also eliminates some natural food groups such as beans, legumes, wheat, and corn, which can be seen as cons to this diet. On the raw food diet, you'll never consume anything heated or cooked above 115 degrees Fahrenheit. In some camps, this is 108 degrees Fahrenheit. This is supposedly the threshold at which nutrients begin to break down. Therefore, the assumption behind this diet is that you lose vitamins and minerals. There is no significant evidence to show that this diet produces health benefits beyond that of a vegan or a plant-based diet, nor that consuming cooked food is unhealthy. There is, in fact, potential risk in consuming raw animal products or unpasteurized dairy, depending on the quality of the source. Gluten is a protein found in wheat, barley, and rye, and also the products made from or with these grains: beer, cereals, pasta, and so on. A gluten-free diet eliminates any food or food product containing gluten. A 100% gluten-free diet may be difficult to follow, as many processed food additives and processes contain gluten or may promote cross-contamination. The gluten-free seal found on packaged foods indicate the product has been tested and contains no more than 20 parts per million. For individuals with a gluten allergy, such as celiac disease, this diet is the only way to cure gut inflammation and other symptoms. The confusion can come when people assume that a gluten-free diet is a low-carb diet, which it is not. There are plenty of whole grains that do not naturally contain gluten, such as quinoa, amaranth, oats, buckwheat, rice, millet, corn, and cornmeal. For people diagnosed with celiac disease, the gluten-free packaged food seal is very important, as it is asking questions when eating out at restaurants to be sure the food is not contaminated with gluten. Any gluten intake will cause inflammation and may cause the symptoms listed: extreme stomach discomfort, bloating, malnutrition, fatigue, weight loss, and constipation. This diet promotes a variety of whole grain intake while giving a low intake of processed snack foods. However, there's confusion as to who really benefits from a gluten-free diet. In addition, the gluten-free industry has caught on to this trend, and many gluten-free foods are laden with sugar, salt, and a variety of other grains that may not always be the healthier choice. Veganism takes the vegetarian diet to the next level by eliminating all animal products and any processed foods with animal byproducts. Vegans often also avoid using any leather, silk, wool, or cosmetic products tested on animals. The vegan diet eliminates dairy, eggs, honey, meat, poultry, and fish. Reasons for following this diet vary by individual, but are often founded in health or environmental reasons. This diet is rich in fruits and vegetables, whole foods, and sustains the environment and is good for your heart health. However, it is extremely restrictive, hard to find protein options, and you also may not consume your adequate intake of iron and vitamin B12. flexitarian diet is based on flexibility to include both plant and animal-based protein sources and foods in your diet. It promotes a heavily plant-based approach with proteins such as tofu, beans, lentils, nuts, and seeds. It also allows meat and poultry in moderation. The recommendations of this diet are outlined in more detail with recipes and tips in this book by registered dietitian Dawn Jackson Blattner, who is credited with bringing this diet to life. It's very similar to another concept known as vegan before 6 p.m., created by well-known New York Times columnist and food activist Mark Bittman. This is such a flexible and sustainable approach to eating that we were hard-pressed to find anything to list under cons for this diet. However, we weren't too impressed by the 5 identified food groups, of which one is sugar and spice. Placing a focus on sugars may encourage diet cheats or excess consumption, or maybe it won't. Either way, there are a lot of pros to adopting this style of eating. Now we're going to take a look at trendy diets. First, we started seeing juiceries pop up as shops and street carts all over, which quickly turned into the juice cleanse craze. Search for juice cleanse and a number of options will pop up that will cost you well over $100 for 3 or more days worth of liquid food. The goal of these cleanses is to rid the body of toxins that may have built up for any number of reasons. Maybe a vacation, a holiday, a weekend getaway. Many go on in expecting dramatic weight loss and a big dose of energy, but often feel frustrated, hungry, tired, and disappointed. Success stories vary quite a bit. Either way, we don't recommend this extreme approach to cleansing out days, weeks, or months of poor eating and drinking habits. Taking a few days to eat clean, as we discussed earlier, sticking to fruits, vegetables, proteins, healthy fats, and water will most often produce the same effect. Intermittent fasting is, as the name suggests, a diet by which individuals try increasing the amount of time between meals or increasing time spent fasting as a method by which to lose weight and or body fat or to manage cravings between meals. There are many different methods of intermittent fasting, but the goal of most is to increase the body's insulin sensitivity and focus caloric intake on certain intervals between meals. It's worth noting that many people who try these are athletes or bodybuilders looking to decrease body fat by fasting between calorically dense meals. This outcome will more likely be if exercise is part of your already routine. The pros and cons listed here isn't thorough, because as we mentioned before, there are so many different ways to go about this diet. However, it is worth noting that most methods do increase the individual's awareness of hunger levels and may also reduce mindless snacking between meals. Since the idea is often too fast between larger meals, concentrating calories to meals only. However, these lists both depend on what your goal is with adapting to this diet. The cons include no real focus on types of food consumed at meals or snacks, the main focus on fasting and meal timing. Also, for the average worker, this approach may not always be realistic and manageable with your schedule. Some fasting methods recommend 12 to 14 hours between meals, which may not be doable with your lifestyle or exercise routine. The ketogenic diet has been around a long time, but called many different names. It essentially requires days, sometimes weeks, of reducing carbohydrate intake to levels so low and increasing ketones in the bloodstream to switch the body's metabolic process to burn fats instead of glucose for energy. This is a state of ketosis. There has been some evidence showing that this diet can be used effectively to manage epilepsy symptoms, but it is also popular among the bodybuilding and weightlifting sports worlds as a way to reduce body fat percentage. This diet may help manage epilepsy symptoms, however, only if strictly managed by a team of medical and health professionals. And it consists of very satiating meals because they are high in fat and protein. However, this diet has a longer list of cons for the average Joe than it does pros. This diet became widely known by its bulletproof coffee, which can pack up to 400 or 500 calories per cup as the best way to start your day. It's become a more comprehensive diet, banning all foods that are listed as causing inflammation, such as soy, wheat, and non-dairy cheese, but also things like canned vegetables or microwave foods. Rather, the allowed, also known as bulletproof foods, include oils and fats, vegetables and starchy vegetables, fruits, select nuts and legumes, grass-fed organic butter and cream. This diet also has trademark items such as coffee and protein powder. The founder, Dave Asprey, is known as a biohacker, altering lifestyle choices to enhance health. Trendy diets often encourage clean eating tactics, which we love. They're also high in veggies and fruits. However, some of these diets are unsustainable and take an extreme approach. In addition, some of them have little or no significant research to support their health claims. Now that we've covered quite a few diet trends, whether they're time-tested or recent fads, each have their pros and cons, and most dietitians and health professionals will agree that most diets are rooted with some good intention. However, when they stack up, there are few we'd say, go ahead and try, and others we'd rather turn the other way. Here's the verdict. Clean eating is our favorite. It focuses on less processed and more whole foods and doesn't exclude specific food groups. It's easy to even eat clean while you're dining out. This is a win-win diet in our eyes, and honestly can even be considered a lifestyle more so than a diet. The Mediterranean diet has been studied for years, and the benefits are always coming out in the data. Fruits, vegetables, whole grains, minimal animal products, lots of fish, olive oil, and even a glass of wine here and there. Again, it's a way of life, not a short-term solution. And last, the flexitarian. We just love the idea of trying more vegetarian meals and keeping meat-based meals full of vegetables and local meats. Like we mentioned, our favorites are ones that focus on making it a lifestyle change versus a short-term solution. Also, the requirements of clean eating, Mediterranean, and flexitarian are reasonable enough that it won't exhaust you to stick it out. For a simplified outlook on food, follow the lead of Michael Pollan. Eat food, not too much, mostly plants. It's about being conscious of the food choices you are making and enjoying the food you are eating. Now for the worst. We're just not a fan of these diets because they set unrealistic expectations and eliminate foods or food groups that have been extremely healthy in nutrients, and provide a lot of benefits. First, juice cleansing completely eliminates whole foods for a period of time. It doesn't set you up to create lasting change to impact your health or, if desired, your waistline. Ketogenic diets eliminate carbohydrates to an unhealthy level and is one that is impossibly hard to stick with for. In addition, gluten-free is unnecessary if you're not gluten intolerant or have celiac disease. We recommend not taking yourself too seriously. Focus on plants first when looking at a meal or a snack, and fill half your plate with them. It's normal to have to go to the food store on a regular basis. Stock up on pantry items such as rice and whole grains, and replenish fresh foods weekly. Stay in tune with your body and hunger signals. If you're hungry for normal meals in the morning, then eat. There's no reason you can't have it. Breakfast food can be for any time of day. And learn to figure out what works best for you. Don't stick to a diet plan or eating pattern that just doesn't work and isn't sustainable. Continue to visit your Healthy at Hopkins portal for more nutrition, advice, resources, tips, tricks, and fun activities.